For Jamaicans, many being descendants of Africans, to learn about their history before slavery, we have to take a trek to Africa. In this episode, we are covering the man that have the title, the richest man for ever live. Just think about the four richest people where you ever hear about. Fame riches, far than that, even when you combine the four of them. Him riches at all up, them say it indescribable. Now, let's get into today's video. The man is an African named Mansa Musa. He was a 14th century West African ruler who for money did well up and him did generous bad. According to BBC, one associate professor of history at the University of California named Rudolph Butchware tell them say, contemporary accounts of Musa's wealth was so breathless that it's almost impossible to get a sense of just how wealthy and powerful he truly was. Bap bap, now that you call top money. It's enough. Nobody can know how enough it really is. Musa was born in 1280 in a family of rulers. Him inherit the kingdom him brother left behind. Him brother, Abu Bakr, in about 1312, did well curious about the Atlantic Ocean and what did there beyond this big body of water. Him left good Mali for the unknown with a fleet of 2,000 ships and enough man, woman, and slaves. Nobody never see them after that. So Mansa did have to take up the leadership. Them say, when Mansa take over, Mali's development take off. Him take over 24 cities, including Timbuktu. In kingdoms stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to places we now call Senegal, Niger, Guinea, Ivory Coast, and so. Know that Mali did well off already because them did have some valuable natural resources such as gold and salt. But Mansa did have a vision that only him could have reached for Fame Kingdom. Mansa Musa built on top of the riches and him greatly improved the economic standing of him people. Him conquering them additional African cities here caused him to gain control over important trade routes between the Mediterranean and the West African coast. Them said the empire of Mali accounted for almost half of the whole world gold. And who you think it belonged to? Not the king, Mansa Musa. Alright, so we don't want to pretty up the conquering part like some of them articles there we will read. They do. You know what conquering mean. That mean Mansa and him people go in a other people city with soldier, fight them, take all them things, enslave them people, and take over them land. Coming from slavery as a people ourselves, we can't feel good about that. But unfortunately, slavery and inter-African wars existed maybe since the beginning of time. It was just a thing for a kingdom conquer another kingdom. We hear a song where say people normally get rich by oppressing, monopolizing, milking somebody else. So many of them modern day rich people, yeah, who knows, probably follow the same tune, but in a different mates. Now back to the script. As the ruler, Mansa Musa had access to unlimited wealth, major trading centers that traded in golds and other goods was also in them territory, and him garner more wealth from this trade. Back in the days, people never really knew about people like that, though word travel from one mouth to the next. So though Mali did reach, not a lot of people did really know about them. Back then them never have car, internet and all them things that when information and people could have travel far quick. Normally, by foot or some animal or carriage back in them days there. So it was no surprise that people never knew about Mali. Mansa, being a devout Muslim, decided to travel to Mecca, and him did have to pass through the Sahara Desert and Egypt. From that would that be Western Africa to Northeastern Africa. Note, Africa is a big continent with many countries and tribes. And this year journey, more people know about him and him kingdom based on how flashy them did look and how much gold Mansa give away. So you hear them did generous, him did well generous. Them say, pan this trip, Mansa take him entire royal court with him. That include soldiers, entertainers, merchants, camel drivers, officials, and about 12,000 slaves. Him bring him livestock with him, of course, as they know him have to secure the food. BBC describe it as a city moving through the desert. So, when we say them flashy, I mean say literally cause even the slaves them, did wear gold and the finest silk. Mansa did also bring hundreds of pounds of pure gold upon the camel them. Him give gold to the poor and trade gold for souvenir. So the people are gonna remember him and want to find out about them. Them say him make sure say him city depend sure. Them show off them assets. Make them know say a Mali them come from. Like how Jamaicans we love to represent. So we go foreign. We have to wear Jamaican colours and be things. Jamaica, you won't normally see Jamaicans wearing the Jamaican colours unless I like Jamaica Day or Independence Time, and some Jamaicans will wear them colours because them love them colours. And them love wearing them colours. But abroad, we see Jamaicans representing and getting them Jamaican colours to say, yeah, we're Jamaicans and we're proud. So, you could say them do similar. Him was particularly noted in Cairo, where him spent about 3 months, spending freely, exchanging gifts, and telling the governor about Mali. But the man was also about him God, as him build a mosque every Friday. Him left Cairo in October, and him generosity continue on the way to Mecca. While coming from Mecca to go to Cairo, bad things did happen. Him lose people and supplies, and even end up run out of money. So him did have to sell some of the things them with them buy and even borrow money. But because him did kind, one man named Al-Nassar returned in kindness. That's a thing, right? That's how life is there, right? When you're down, people you help lift you up. Because when you did up, you did lift them up. What do you think? Them said the cities of Gayo and Timbuktu submitting to Mansa's rule as him travel through from him return to Mali. Upon him return to Mali, rather. And him also end up bringing back scholars to Mali. The man was all about building up in kingdom. After him trip to Mecca, word and influence and wealth spread beyond Africa. However, in generosity, never all good, though indeed intended to be so. In extra givingness caused Cairo economy to crash for about a decade as the value of the metal did decrease when him give away all of that gold. And some of Mansa people did believe that him waste the gold and resources. But that same extra kindness make people notice him and rate him. Mansa Musa indeed put Mali on the map. Mansa did support the arts and architecture. He built schools, libraries, mosques, and fund literature. Timbuktu became a center for education, causing people from all over the globe to study there. And them have one university we call Sankor. He begin and develop the traditional education in West Africa. In addition to encouraging the arts and architecture, he also did so much for Mali, even those not known. So probably one day we can visit Africa, talk to the people of Mali and hear from them themselves, because not everything you're gonna find online and not everything you're gonna find in the books. As them say, history was written by the winners, and a lot of African history it not tell or is untold or not popular. But I remember Nas American artist said in them song talking about Timbuktu. You know that song, I Know I Can Be What I Wanna Be? That was one of the best songs I've ever listened to as a teen or kid. I was like, wow. And I listened to him say Timbuktu wherever race came to get books or something like that. I was like, I noted that in my head. So you do have people talking about it. Talking of Timbuktu, it was not only a center for education but trade and culture. And that is credited to the king, Mansa Musa. Now we're going to wrap up now. After Mansa Musa dropped out sometime in the 1330s, him son them inherit the empire. But them say him son them couldn't really hold it together, so the empire did crumble. However, Mansa Musa him leave an unforgettable legacy in how in developing kingdom was a very kind man. The Musk University and buildings he funded to be built, how in back traditional education, and is called the richest man to ever live in the whole wide world to this day. Alright, so that's it. We hope you found this valuable. We hope it encouraged you to look even deeper into Mansa Musa. And we have so much to share, guys, as we are exploring history as Jamaicans, as a Caribbean national country, so that you can know more about where you come from. As Marcus Garvey said, a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And you know what happens with a tree without roots. We want our people to flourish, and sometimes we have to learn about the past to have a greater future. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, subscribing, liking, commenting, engaging. We love the conversation, and we'll rate on a bad. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other, and blessings always.